It don't matter now.
Don't matter for now.
Okay.
All right, fellas, did you guys hear about LeBron James becoming the next billionaire athlete? What do you think about that?
Man, I personally think it's amazing. Dude he came out the league out of high school. And he's been with the same woman since high school. He hasn't had any type of blemishes, parking tickets. He hadn't had anything that is, no cases, he take care of his body. I mean, he came from the projects. I mean, this is amazing. The fact that he is a billionaire, active playing billionaire at that. So that's kind of it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what his portfolio is made out of? I mean, let me say two things. One, I'm not sure that it's a surprise that he's successful. I mean,
Right.
That all makes sense. And then, and it makes sense because of consistency, right? He's putting that 1% in day over day, whether it's being healthy with his body or practicing, that's how you win all those NBA championships and MVP awards. But, do you know about his portfolio of investments outside of basketball?
Well, I know he's collaborated with Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett's taken a liking to LeBron, wanted to help him build out a portfolio. If I had to guess, he's probably just following Berkshire Hathaway strategies. And I know that Warren is also a big, strong proponent of just invest in a low-cost S&P 500. Although I'm sure LeBron kind of expands his wings, like, in a similar vein as like a Jay-Z or somebody who jumps into different, avenues of clothing and whatnot. But LeBron has a humongous contract with Nike, right? And with other sponsors. So
yeah,
lots of investments in a lot of areas.
I mean, he literally on his Instagram, he posts something that says he said it's chess, not checkers. And he put a little like emoji of chess, and he has a king emoji on there. So it looks like, yeah, he has a crazy big deal with Nike, worth over a bill, a lifetime deal. He has then he has let me see, investments. Last year, James and his friend Maverick Carter became partners in Fenway Sports Group, which owns the Boston Red Sox, Liverpool,
Wow.
the English Premier League, and Roush Fenway Racing, among other properties. James also has stakes in the smart gym company Tonal. It's like that thing I think one of our friends has.
The workout
thing
that you put on the screen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And ride-hailing service Lyft, reported by Forbes, which notes he has cash and other investments totaling over $500 million, just in those ventures. Yeah. So, dude is let me get some more here. So James and Carter also co-founded, which is another friend, the Spring Hill Company, which has created a variety of film, television, and audio series, including Space Jam, A New Legacy, and Uninterrupted: The Shop. So, I mean, the guy is he's very diverse in a lot of content too. A lot of things that can make you Also, it says also James has endorsements with AT&T, PepsiCo, and Walmart. I mean, just that alone, he probably. It's like,
yeah, and those are crazy. What's crazy about those numbers is with those contracts is that it far exceeds his NBA salary. And when you think about like some of the highest paid athletes, LeBron's up there for NBA contracts. He's not even the highest, but he's ranked number 6 with $41 million per year. If you think about though, I'm gonna take it from a different angle because I'm from Chicago. I got this guy on the back wall here. He kind of set that tone because he was the first athlete in basketball, at least, to crack $30 million per season.
And I remember that.
Oh wow!
Only once in his career, in his last season. and he made 33 million. So if you put that in perspective, then he held that record for 30 years until Kobe did it. So, LeBron coming out 41 mil, for the last, let's call it decade. Can we be surprised that he's a billionaire? I don't think so. Yeah. Especially if you add all these other contracts into the mix.
It's interesting though,
100 mil a year.
I think it's interesting though with the other contracts, kind of taking it to a personal or more sort of microeconomic perspective. I mean, in order for him to have that level of diversification, he probably had to do a lot of additional work, right? So the average person's going to go to their job and do their 9 to 5 and then go home and be like, well, I'm tired. I worked. I deserve a reward, right? You get Cinnabon or watch Netflix or whatever. But you can't just, for LeBron, right? He plays basketball and then he had to get the endorsements and then he had to, do these deals with other folks and then learn investing. Or, I mean, admittedly, he's getting a lot of help, right? I mean, if I were to get help from, the chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, I'm sure my portfolio would be pretty good too. But at the same time, he had to go out and seek it. There's stuff, there's work, there's side hustle, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
So I think my takeaway from this is, what's the side hustle? What's the extra thing you're working on that's going to make more wealth and more opportunity than your 9 to 5?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think also coming into the league, if you remember out of high school, like Hop said, we saw him get immediate endorsements with Nike, Gatorade, the Hummer, like all these different things. And he ended up having those things fall into his lap, which is great. But to your point, he needs to remain consistent, needs to condition his body. He needs to spend the time outside the gym, making movies like Space Jam, all these things, traveling around, having a consistent family life, like you were mentioning, is the same woman since high school. That's got to be a lot of pressure. So you gotta say you gotta give a lot of respect to that to reach this level that few athletes have gotten to. It's really impressive, even if he's made it at a quicker pace than probably some of the predecessors that helped get him there quicker.
Takes a lot of focus, guys. I think everything you're saying is right, spot on. It just takes a lot of focus for us to be in the upper middle class or in the top 1%. This guy's in the top 0.001%. I mean, it's ridiculous. He's killing it. It just, for someone to be in such a space in their life back when they're 17 years old, where I remember stories where it was something that came out about a Hummer that somebody gave him to try to lure him. Some weird story back in the day. You ever heard about that? It was like a weird scenario that happened, and they were trying to I think it was a high school. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up here. Only thing I remember about that was a negative thing, and it was like, hey.
Oh, you mean before he got in the league, basically?
Yeah, before he got in the league, it was something. Yeah, crazy.
So there was a situation where he was in his hometown. There was a shop that sold sports paraphernalia. And since they knew him since a kid, they asked him to sign some jerseys and do things like that. He also had that, I've mentioned Hummer, because he had also gotten a Hummer from some coach or some friends. And so he was being investigated around that. But the irony of it is he just skipped college and went right to the NBA.
Yeah.
So I think most players would have gotten in trouble because of recruitment standards, NCAA, but because he went straight to NBA, it didn't matter.
Was it like a he got game scenario? They're trying to lure him.
Exactly.
Exactly. $50,000 Hummer. $50,000 Hummer. Yeah, $50,000 Hummer back then is like psychotic. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, I mean,
for a teenager too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the irony of that too is that he has a real endorsement deal with Hummer right now with the electric version.
That's awesome.
Like today. So I thought it's just a magnificent story, and it just like you said, I like it does something for us to show that you have to have another hustle. You have to have, even if it's in yourself, you got to bet on yourself and build from there. And I think that's what
Right.
he did.
No,
So
totally. And for him to hit the $1 billion mark in this down economy, that just goes to show that he didn't put all his money in all his eggs in one basket. He definitely diversified and spread it out. Otherwise, you know, he'd be down from, he wouldn't be hitting a new high right now.
yeah. And I heard, it was a quote I heard from a magnificent rapper. He said, I know we're in a downhill economy, but ain't nothing stopping me from going on shopping spree or something like that.
Yeah, I know that one. That's a good one.
Disrespectful.
But yeah, man. Good talk, guys. And I guess we'll just edit this thing out.
No, yeah.
Lessons
so.
learned.
So yeah, this will be interesting to see. So I think, let me stop the recording actually.
All right.